Tony Robbins once said, "It is in your moments of decisions that your destiny is shaped." Today, I'm going to be talking about 4 decisions that will make a massive difference in your parenting for 2024. Why are decisions really, really important? What actually shapes our decisions? How do we decide what we do in our parenting? How do we decide who we are in our parenting? How do we decide the choices that we make? How do we decide what we do to build a relationship between ourselves as parents and our children? I'm going to be sharing 4 decisions that will help your parenting relationship and also help your children's emotional maturity and growth for 2024. Number 1, decide to model the character you want to see in your children. And I know we say this all the time, but it's very important for you to be the model. That character you want to see in your children, model it to your children and model it consistently. Because when you model it consistently, that's when they really believe that that's a character worth emulating. What do you want them to be? You want them to be respectful. You want them to have integrity. You want them to be resilient. They need to see that from you. They don't learn that on a board. They don't learn that just being thought 1 plus 1 is this, or this plus this is resilience. This plus this is respect. They learn it more from what they see in you. So be the model. Get those characters you want them to improve on in this year, and actually you agree to actually improve on those as well. You agree to model those as well. So that should be your goals. So decide to be the model of the character you want to see in them. The second decision I'll encourage you to make is decide to be a better listener. Many children are saying, my mom doesn't listen, my dad doesn't listen. And you may think that you listen, but they don't understand. They don't see it that you listen. So one of the things that's going to make them know that you listen is when you then decide to be an active listener. And what active listeners do, active listeners don't interrupt when people are talking to them. Active listeners listen to understand first before they give their opinions, before they give their suggestions. They listen to understand what the other person is saying. So listen to understand your child first. When your child is trying to explain something, just be still and be quick to listen. Listen to understand. Don't start worrying about the answers you need to give, the solutions that you need to fix. Don't worry about those in the moment. Your child needs to see your attention. They need to see that you've got them. They need to see that their voices are being heard. Your body language while they're talking to you, your focus while they're talking to you. They need to see that you are invested in what they're saying. And the more they can see that you're invested in what they're saying, then guess what? The more they will be able to share with you, and the more they will have the confidence in themselves as well to speak up and to be able to express their emotions in healthier ways. So you decided to become an active listener in 2024, it's going to make a massive difference in your child's emotional maturity and growth. The third decision I'll encourage you to make is decide to unlearn the habits of yelling and criticizing your children. And I know, we're going to soon go back into school with school runs, with all the activities that children get to do. And sometimes it can be overwhelming for us as parents. But I'll encourage you, take yelling out of the equation this year. What yelling does, yelling silences your children. Yelling affects their self-esteem. You don't even realize it. They get used to yelling. So when they get used to yelling and you talk to them in a normal way, they may not really hear what you're saying because they're so used to the yelling. So what we can do is decide not to yell. And when I say decide not to yell, the practical way I'll encourage you to do that is by deciding every day, I'm going to be a better communicator to my child today. I'm going to speak to my child in a more effective way today. Don't start the morning and say, well, I'm not going to yell today. It's not productive when you say, I'm not going to yell. That means yelling is still in the environment, yelling is still in the atmosphere. Instead, let's call out what we're going to do. I am going to be a better communicator today. I am going to be an effective communicator today. And in my effective communication, yelling is out of the window, criticizing is out of the window, speaking out in anger, they're all out of the window. So it's very important to make that decision. I am going to be a more effective communicator. And then the fourth decision I've made is make a decision to be more intentional in nurturing your children's sibling relationship. What I've tended to notice is that we want tips on how to avoid the sibling rivalry. What can we do about the sibling rivalry? And whilst there's a place for that, it's also very important is what can we do to build their relationship so that it then avoids those sibling rivalries. And that's what we need to focus on more in 2024. What can we do together as a team? What can we do together so that our children know that we love all of them? We're not preferring one to the other. We're not treating one better than we're treating the other. We're not criticizing one over the other. We're not comparing one over the other. Our children need to see that we are intentional about building their sibling relationship. And that is what helps in avoiding those sibling rivalries. So those are the four decisions that I will encourage every parent as we step into 2024 to be conscious about. Be conscious about these decisions that we've shared and be intentional about implementing these decisions. Remember, your decisions really, really matter. It's through your decisions in parenting that the destinies of your children are shaped. Trust yourselves. And don't forget to just subscribe to this channel for more and more tips and strategies in parenting. Take care.